Hi, Alicia, how are you?
Oh my God. It's been so hard.
Don't worry, because we have a lot of guys that we want to stay today to try to understand something. I think it's a good opportunity for all to have you today. I left you the space, okay? Please
Mhm.
continue.
Alicia, I'm having the presentation right now. Just tell me when I have to change slides.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much. Sorry for the confusion, but it's been very hard to connect. I don't know why, but it has been so difficult. Well, let's start beginning. We begin with the slide number 2, and the beginning here in Santander Bank was the statement or the vision that the Santander Global Senior Data Managers has about the CDO function and in our organization. Raúl Cruces, which is the senior manager for data, says that the CDO aim is to become an organization became our organization into a data-driven organization that hardly needs data as a competitive asset to drive innovation and create actionable insights to supercharge the experience for our customers, partners, and employees. It is really a very challenging goal, and to achieve it, the CDO needs to embrace a governance paradigm different from the one he has used so far. It has to be a paradigm powerful and flexible, a functional and technical framework which allows him to guarantee trustee and consistent data, and capable of support and integrated, automated, intelligent, and scalable data governance. Please move forward. Next slide. And well, the idea is that at the end of 2019, and after an assessment of the situation of the data governance led by the proper CDO, 7 actions were identified to evolve our governance solution associated with the framework RDA-RRF to the next level of governance, involving all our data, not specifically the regulatory data, and those related with our customers, their behaviors, or other general data information. First of all, it was necessary to avoid sealed information and question the role of the data owner. The data belongs to the company and must be known and available to the entire company, obviously with all the necessary controls or mechanisms that we need to implement. Data democratization makes the information accessible for non-technical users without the involvement of IT. Data democratization means that the users decide what data is important for them and what data they want to work with. Knowing the data being data more accessible, a new range of opportunities for exploitation and analysis appears, and as a consequence, a new business opportunities. Data democratization means that the number of data to be controlled increases, and that it's not possible to apply to all the data the same strict regulatory criteria without increase the workload of CDO teams, becoming these CDO teams into next of bottle. To avoid this situation, 2 decisions were taken here in Santander. In one hand, we choose to define different categories of governance, applying the necessary governance to each data according to a new classification of data into a core and no core groups. And in the other hand, the automatization of governance functions became a priority. Even more, in this new playground, it is necessary to simplify the governance function itself, roles and responsibilities, guaranteeing the adequate response to the new condition of activity. And finally, it is necessary to support the governance function with a unique technological framework that allows general and simplified data governance and management. Next slide, please. So the story begins in the first months of 2020. In this first month of 2020, we conducted a survey on the governance approach of companies with different areas of activity. And we realized that the banks continue maintaining a governance focus on regulation, and so did insurance and health. Industry and telecom were one step behind in terms of data governance. And what surprised us is that we found our inspiration in the technology sector. Microsoft, Amazon, and Google, companies that already understood the data as an asset in the company. And all these companies have a data governance based on the concept of data marketplace. So the solution to us came in the same format of single data marketplace. And what is a single data marketplace? Well, the definition, or one of the definitions that I pick here is that a data marketplace is a single ecosystem that connects producers and consumers of data sets, ensuring high quality, consistency, and security. Data marketplaces empower data producers to share exactly the data they want to share, while keeping track of the use of this data, what, when, who, even by whom. Data marketplaces create opportunity for the data consumers to pick and choose from different data that are being published. The data marketplace for us is a way to know where are our data and track the use of this data. And more than this, knowing what data is being used, we can make more informed decisions about what data to invest resources in and how to organize our data across the business. Data marketplace enable data democratization, which is a core requirement in the future of data, as I said before. Users can shop for data products within the marketplace and then join this product to other ones to launch really data-driven projects, because everyone told about the data-driven project, but the really data-driven projects are born about data. The source of this project is the data. And finally, just one characteristic more for the marketplace, which is that the key of the marketplace is the data contract. A data contract rules the relationship between the producer and the consumer, make the producer commit to provide the data according to the condition of the contract, and make the consumer commit to consuming the data for the purpose described into the contract. So let's go to the slide number 5, next slide, and I would like to show you here which are the principal components of this data marketplace paradigm or solution. The single data marketplace paradigm involves new roles, a new way to manage the data value chain, and a new architectural purpose. Let's go deeper in each of these components, starting with the new roles. The single data marketplace, in first place, lead us to identify new roles and the responsibilities involved in roles as data producer, data consumer, and data marketplace owner appears. We found here in Santander the data producers, the team that share data in the business areas. The business areas contain the knowledge of the data domain, of course, and the data ownership. Supported by technology and operation teams, they can guarantee the integrity and quality of data in terms of cleaning, the duplication, enrichment, can guarantee the data classification, meaning metadata information fulfillment, and the data can guarantee the data delivery according to a SLO. And all of this, of course, by design with all the data privacy and security approvals. After the producer, we found or we identified the marketplace authorities, the team that rules the marketplace, establishing and monitoring data policies. They are the data marketplace owner. And we realized this data marketplace model requires for this role the participation of a multidisciplinary team involving not only CDO, but CTO, CIO, CISO, and even operations, because they have to do a lot of tasks. And for example, they need to maintain the inventory on enterprises data sets. They must define standards, processes, and policies. They must define and implement data quality workflows, implantation of security, privacy, and compliance control, support the data contracts since the perspective of the consumer and the producer, giving them the necessary support, talent, training and community seeding, publication, information, and finally cost optimizations. If we know the data, the best use of them we can do, and that means a cost optimization in many cases. And finally, we are going to talk about the data consumers. Data consumers are the team that want or that use the data. We found the data consumers into the business areas and in analytics teams. Something important here. Consumer must be understood in a very, very wide approach, including people, applications, and algorithms. Which are responsibilities for these data consumers? Understand business priorities, discover and pull the data, and finally, the creation and write back of KPIs and insights such as forecast, recommendation, etc. After this role analysis, what we do here in Santander, what we did was review deeply the new data value chain to understand the capabilities that we need to cover. And what was these capabilities? We identified three main capabilities. First, all data in one simplified view. Second, on-demand data delivery. And third, an enterprise-ready data management. One simplified view supported by a smart data catalog that organizes, documents, and describes all data in the data collection, in our data collection. Obviously, we must define robust and analytic quality processes to be certain that the data is used in the best conditions with the maximum quality necessary. A guide shopping experience that finds and understands the best data for the user. Again, robust and automatic access control must be implemented to guarantee the proper data delivery, and a log must be maintained to track the data use. Data marketplace must be managed under the fundamental principles of data management, which means that security, governance, metadata, and data protection are all built in. And finally, a complete governance architecture was specifically designed. We used 6 months last year to define our new governance architecture. An architecture, a next generation architecture based on the principles of extensibility by design, modularity and flexibility, multi-platform, based in third-party solutions and capable of give services to all the roles that I told before and support all the steps in the data value chain. Next step is slide 6. But nothing of the better position would be possible without a common language. And we are very proud of our semantic layer. A semantic layer which facilitates sharing and isolates the consumer for technological structures, allowing to establish a common language across multiple data and analytic business use cases. In this 3 lines of work supporting the semantic layer were launched here in Santander. One of them was the creation of a global dictionary of business terms. Second, an ontology. We create an ontology and several associated taxonomies to guarantee the unique identification of data. And finally, metadata model to integrate the 360 data context, including technical, functional, and social metadata, identification, accesses and use permissions, availability, quality characteristics of data, lineage, traceability, and governance typology to be applied. If what I told before, if the data is core or not core, because we have to apply different governance typology according to this metadata. Next slide, slide 7. We are finishing, and before the conclusions, but before the conclusions, I would like to summarize some goals that here are, that we already achieved. The single data marketplace makes the organization to be able to pinpoint who is responsible for data, policies, and processes. So it's easier to know who to get answers from. 2, be able to answer who is using the data, when, where, and what for. Link the governance workflows itself or themselves, because everyone can see the impact of their decisions and transformations. Policy owners will see how data interacts with different processes, technology, and people, so they can define how policies should be owned or what policies must be adapted. The homogenization and automation of the data access policies make data management easier for the CDO. And finally, a data marketplace facilitates the data protection and privacy measures definition, management, and automatization. And let's go to the slide 8. And this is the end. But I would like to let me finish with the list of Santander keys to succeed in the single data marketplace journey. The first and most important of all was the senior management team sponsorship. The Santander CEO became the first stakeholder in the single data marketplace projects in the group. Goals were defined and transposed to the countries, and their fulfillment is monitored in proper forums. So this is a global effort, it's a global project. Second, multidisciplinary and really expert teams in data were created, led by the CDO, but including CTO, PNO, and CISO. These teams also sharing the same goals. Third, global communications plans were defined to guarantee the collective understanding and knowledge of the data assets based on the global semantic layer I presented to you before. 4, broad comprehension of data catalogation must be applied, meaning an integration between technical, business, and social media metadata. 5, it is necessary to guarantee the integration of the data layer with the other architectural layers. Interoperability is a must in the marketplace. Data acquisition and data consumption must be not constrained, but make it easier. So we need to talk with other architectural layers. Our data layer was included into the global architecture of the bank. And finally, choose the best tool companions. And well, we work heavily to identify which could be the platform or the system or the tool that can help us and join us into this journey. And HANA Data has been included in Santander Group technological stack as a single data marketplace solution that gives us the solution for almost all our requirements. requirements of our CDO, basically. So I don't know how if as I am out of time or not, really.
Yeah, you are out of time, but don't worry about that, because first of all, it's a very interesting speech. I think all the people, because at the end we have a lot of questions. We can try to take 2 minutes, no more, for answer some of these questions. I don't know if you. I hope that you. I think that you can read the chat. I read for you the question if you want. So the first question is.
Sorry, I'm trying to connect now, but I don't know if you can see.
No, I read the question for you. The first one is, how much was difficult in such a complex architecture, the physical and ET data lineage retrieving?
Well, the lineage is the more tricky part of any marketplace, and there are many solutions that say that really do this traceability or lineage, but it's not really true. You must use for maintenance the automatically the traceability. You need to use the ETL tools that come together with the solutions in order to integrate both of them. And the idea is that in any case, if you have some kind of processes into Spark solutions developed out of these suites of these complete solutions for governance, you lose the traceability in these processes out of the solution. So this is really the tricky part.
Yeah. Yes, we do that. So two important things we are listing in your presentation. The first one is things that normally I used to say in my speech, that without the C-level, every data governance process can be a success. No. The second one is about the contract. Okay, you have a tool that, if I understand, maybe is Anjana data that give the possibility each time that a person want to access to a special data, need to sign a contract, because you need to track the traceability. Can you explain this part?
Yeah, well, perhaps Mario can speak better than me, but the idea is that, yes, really, we have to assign a contract. But the idea is that Anjana, for example, has some kind of automatization in the way of defining groups of people, group of users that can automatically being connected with some kind of producers. For example, if I am a user into the financial area, I have an automatic data contract subscribed or written or signed with the information related with financials, and this is the way to discharge or to avoid the intervention in any relationship of the CDO team.
Yeah, but the big question is, for example, in your marketplace, an analyst can see all information available, or only the information that his role can see? Because I understand that maybe a data marketplace is wide, but you see all information. If you can, because your role allows to check, for example, EHR information, you don't need to see nothing. But if you want to check, for example, other data, maybe you need to be. There is a BPM, business process management process for give this permission to this person, and they ask you why you want this data. The person say, I want this data because I'm preparing this analysis. In this case, it's necessary to sign a contract because I think it's out of the.
It is really, and this is something related to auditory and compliance, and it's more in the, let me see in this, put in this word, in the legal layer. The idea is that bank faces and other companies, regulated companies, faces very, very important penalties if the information is not used properly. So the idea is that you really need to make an arrangement and a knowledge and guarantee that the consumer understood perfectly and properly what is that data and for what and what is the use of the data or you have permission to do with. That is very, very, very important.
Yes, because I understand. I think that's, I don't know if the United States it's different, but in Europe we have Basilea that it's very strict in a sort of set of data. But, okay, thank you. Some question I have here, for example, one is, what do you mean by ontology in the context of data governance?
The ontology is a definition. It's a definition for one concept. And what we have here is that any technical asset containing the information, for example, of the name of the customer, of one of our customers, has only and one identification into our ontology. And this is the only way that we can control this kind of thing and use the same language for across the countries, because every data into every technical asset, any data into our technical infrastructure has an equivalent into the ontology or has a reference into the ontology. And we talk ontology. We don't talk technical language. It's very hard. It's very hard to
I know perfectly. So other question, there is a lot of question about that. How do you connect a business concept from business glossary with a metadata item? For example, a field in database table. Maybe for show this, you need to make a demo of the tools, but just for give an idea to the audience. What is the process?
Yeah. The process is that what you have in first of all, you need a tool that can travel into your platforms and make an inventory or technical assets. After that, many of the new tools with AI and some kind of patterns make suggestions for you for one technological asset. For example, this looks like a number, or this look like a address, or something like this. But you have to do the final match is something which is in many cases is manual. It's not automatic. As the EA processes grown and mature, it's gonna be easier. But now there are many things that you have to do manually, one by one. It's not easy.
Okay, so we need to stop and go to group dynamics. I think it will be difficult for you stay in group dynamics by phone, but if you want to try. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you for your interesting speech. I hope to have the possibility to share your material to the audience.
Yeah, it's not a problem. I will send you and you can share. I really hope the Santander experience could be useful for something someone else. Yeah, it could be nice. And my email is in the
presentation.
slide.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Alicia.